Eye conditions affect all stages of life. Poor eye health and impaired vision have a negative effect on the quality of life besides economic implications for the affected individuals, families and communities. The Scheduled Castes and Scheduled Tribes Research and Training Institute (SCST-RTI), in collaboration with the L.V. Prasad Eye Institute with financial support from the Ministry of Tribal Affairs, Government of India, has taken up developmental vision care program for the 13 particularly vulnerable tribal groups or PVTGs of Odisha.
SCST Research and Training Institute is the oldest tribal research institute in the country. It was set up in 1953. This institute conducts a number of studies on the tribal communities on various aspects. In the health sector, there are very few empirical studies which have been done in the state. So in 2018, SCST-RTI, in collaboration with RMRC, conducted a disease profile study of all the PVTGs in the state of Odisha. The finding showed that Dongria Kondh, the PVTG, have a prevalence of around 20% blindness or near blindness amongst the population. After the finding of this study, we approached L.V. Prasad Eye Institute, which is a nationally and internationally acclaimed institution. The Vice Chairman, Dr. T.P. Das, was contacted and he showed a lot of interest to do a screening of all the Dongria Kondh PVTG population and also agreed to collaborate with us to see that the eye treatment is also done, which will give a lot of relief to the Dongria Kondhs. After both the organizations agreed, we approached Ministry of Tribal Affairs for support, and Ministry of Tribal Affairs appreciated the project and gave us funding, which enabled us to conduct screening of all the Dongria Kondh population, and the corrective glasses and also the cataract surgery was done by L.V. Prasad Eye Institute in their Raigada branch. And today, when this entire activity has been accomplished with the support of Ministry of Tribal Affairs and L.V. Prasad Eye Institute, you find a lot of happiness in the life of the Dongria Kondhs, many of whom were not able to do work because of the eyesight problem. Government of Odisha is also contemplating to do similar kind of exercise in all the remaining 12 PVTGs.
The Dongria Kondhs inhabit the plateau of the Niyamgiri hill range, which covers parts of Rayagada and Kalahandi districts of Odisha. The Dongarias, like other tribals, have no knowledge about eye care.
We never go to hospital for our illness. In case of health problem, we call the male priest Beju or the female priest Bejuni to our home. During the necessities, we use different roots or herbs available locally to cure our diseases. We leave everything upon the gods or goddesses.
In this context, the L.V. Prasad Eye Institute, LVPEI Raigada, offered to extend their expertise for the eye care program free of cost.
In 2019, we approached the Government of India and the Government of Odisha Tribal Affairs Ministry to permit us to reach the particularly vulnerable tribal community of Dongria in Rayagada district to assess their eye health and provide at no cost to them required spectacles or other surgery, particularly cataract surgery. The program started in 2021. Till now, we have examined over 10,000 people and provided the required spectacles and or cataract surgery to the people who need it.
The role of Odisha PVTG Empowerment and Livelihood Program OPELIP was significant.
In this program, we have included community resource person, barefoot workers from those two micro project areas, and they did a very tedious job in identifying, mobilizing the community for eye checkup, and it was a wonderful successful program, and we wanted to scale it up to other micro projects in future.
To assist and communicate with the Dongria Kondhas, few educated youths from the Dongria settlements were selected to assist and work as a community health workers. They were trained by the vision technicians of LVPEI, Raigada.
Over the last 35 years, we at LV Prasad Eye Institute have always tried to serve communities which are underserved and which are marginalized. The Dongria PVTG community was one such. Most of the planning of the Dongria PVTG project was done at the Mithu Tulsi Chandrai campus here at Bhubaneswar. When the project actually started, we were in the grip of the COVID-19 pandemic. Fortunately, the Dongria PVTG community was relatively spared in the first wave, but we went in the project in 2021. We were in the second wave and there was a huge toll of the pandemic everywhere. It was particularly important that we took all precautionary measures. We made sure that adequate vaccination of the vulnerable in the community and our own staff was carried out. Our staff were also very careful about personal protective equipment while the screening process was done. It is very, very important that we could successfully complete this project in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic.
मोस्ट कॉमन बैरियर थिला हम पई दी लैंग्वेज आ गोटे चैलेंजेस थिला हमकु हमर जो कम्युनिटी हेल्थ वर्कर को ट्रेनिंग देवारे कारण सेमाने होचंती माने क्लिनिकल बैकग्राउंड टिके बाहर तो फर्स्ट आई पुणी तांको पई माने स्क्रीनिंग टिके असुविधा हला किंतु प्रथम 5 डेज 10 डेज आमे किछि माने पाखापाखी गाँव को नहीं तांको देखेलु एमती स्क्रीनिंग करा जाए एमती कैटरेक्ट देखा जाए तो तांकर एक्सपीरियंस ता तांको हेल्प कला.
These vision technicians of LVPEI Raigada began the joint venture for eye screening and examination at the doorsteps of the Dongarias, along with the community health workers and the community resource persons of OPELIP. Before initiating the door-to-door survey, the community resource persons met the key leaders in the panchayat or the village council to explain the purpose of the project and its benefits to the people.
पूरा प्रीटी चेकअप आयल मुनु प्रीटी ऑपरेशन आयल मुनु हाय केल मुनु गाड़ी बड़ा प्री 3 बाउन प्री हाय चेकअप प्री आरे ऑपरेशन भी प्री.
जेबे से स्टार्ट करथिले तांकर जो प्रोग्राम ता फास्ट करी हमरो डोंगरिया गाँ रो गोटे गाँ जाउथिले सेते बेले कोन आसे लोक मानकर गोटे धारणा थिला एई माने जो आसंती काले हमको आके गाड़ी नै जिबे कि आके बिक देबे एई गोटे तांकर गोटे धारणा थिला सर कहीं आम डोंगरिया अंचल एमती किसी माने टीम आसेनी प्रथम करके आमर एलवी प्रसाद आखि उपरे तार प्रोजेक्ट करथिला जोड़ा कि माने गाँ को आसती आ गाँ को से आई चेकअप करके सेठी हमर जना पड़े कौ मामकर आखिटा खराब अच्छी मौसा मकर खराब अच्छी से रेक्टिफाई करके से आम मुनिगड़ा सेंटर को पठा जाए आम संप्रदाय लोक आम भी साथ देलु ए टीम को जो द्वारा कि टीम आज ये सक्सेस रे पहुँचला.
The survey was then conducted to identify the disabilities. Vision was measured and all known vision disabilities were documented from the history obtained from the subject, their household and neighbors. A survey template was used to collect information on the demographics, household, socio-economic status and overall health status of every member of the house. Presenting visual acuity was tested for every individual outside the house in daylight. Distance visual acuity was measured at 6 meters with spectacles, if any, for 5 years and above. Snannel tumbling e-chart was used for optotype sizes 6x12, 6x18 and 6x60. Starting with the right, one eye was tested at a time while the other was occluded. visual impairment was classified as per the definition of the National Program for Blindness and Visual Impairment, India. With low vision requiring eyeglasses were sent to the nearest primary eye care center, LV Prasad New Hope RLT at Muniguda for further examination and appropriate management. All patients with vision disability received a comprehensive eye examination and care was provided free of cost at the primary or secondary eye care facility. The LVPEI provided the entire logistics for the program.
Tribal Odisha Eye Disease Study, a collaborative project, it was a great experience for LVPI team to touch the life of the most vulnerable tribal groups in India, the Dongria community residing at Rayagada, by giving the best possible eye care at their doorstep. It was a great challenge for LVPI team to overcome the barriers of surgery. They were very uncomfortable with the unfamiliar environment of the hospitals, and their poor health seeking behavior was another roadblock for us. But the determination of the LVPI team at Rayagada helped us to overcome all these barriers. At the same time, they helped us to take the best possible post-operative care of the Dongria people. They are more independent and confident after the successful cataract surgery. It was one of the most valuable experience for LVBI team to operate on this Dongria community.
All those identified with eye ailments and the risk groups were referred to the LVPEI at Rayagada. All individuals identified with eye ailments, especially cataract, were referred for detailed examination and treatment or operation at the eye care facility of the institute.
जो आखि उपरे आमर एलबी प्रसाद रायगड़ारू जो आखि टीम आसी आमर विभिन्न ग्राम रे लोक मान को आखि टेस्ट पाई नेउतिले जहार आखि टिके खराब अच्छी से को चश्मा देले एवं जो मानकर आखि खराब बेसी से को ऑपरेशन मध्य करागला एवं आमर अंचल रे वर्तमान सबू लोक आमर खुशी अछंती अधिकांश माँ माने तो बहुत खुशी अछंती आमको आखि ऑपरेशन करथिले आमको बहुत टंका खर्च होई थांता किंतु आमर बिना मूल्य रे आमर आखि ऑपरेशन हेथिबारु आमे सरकारन को मध्य बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देउछु.
By contrast, vision facilitates many daily life activities, enables better social outcomes and contributes towards poverty reduction, zero hunger, good health and well-being.
Before using this spectacle, I was unable to stitch the cloth or even clean the pebbles from rice. But after using this spectacle, I can see everything clearly and can do all my works comfortably. I give my thanks to the village youth, those who made this arrangement and others who support me for my eye care.
I cannot believe that I could get back my eyesight at this age. It was possible because of my eye operation at LV Prasad Hospital freely. Now I am explaining others to go for eye treatment without any fear or doubt and how I could get back my perfect eyesight.
The smile on the faces of the beneficiaries of the program are a testimony to this fact, and this has been possible because of the invaluable partnership between SCST RTI, OPILIP, LV Prasad Eye Institute, with support from the Ministry of Tribal Affairs, Government of India and Odisha.
As you must have seen in this video clipping, the project eye disease screening and its follow amongst the Dongria Kondh, funded by the Ministry of Tribal Affairs to Tribal Research Institute, Bhubaneswar, and was handled by LV Prasad Eye Institute to screen the patients, to provide them corrective glasses, and the operations of cataract has really brought in a lot of changes and smiles in the lives of Dongria Kondh community. We have found after the operation, the Dongria Kondhs who had lost almost their eyesight have come back to work, and I am sure this is a good practice as to how a research can be seen in implementation at the second stage. Government of Odisha has decided in principle that such eye screening projects will be taken up in all the remaining 12 PVTG communities, so that this will give a good practice example to the rest of the world how the vulnerable communities who are suffering from various kinds of diseases can be addressed in a manner as we have done by STS Development Department through SCST RTI and LV Prasad Eye Institute's collaboration, supported with logistically by OPELIP.